Good morning and welcome to the Standing Committee meeting for Wednesday, July 7th, 2021. Council will continue to meet virtually until further notice. Meetings can now be viewed live on the City channel and live streamed on YouTube. Our first order of business is public comment. I would like to remind all speakers that the rules of council state that comments are limited to matters of concern, official action, or deliberation, which are or may be before City Council, and profanity will not be permitted. Please provide your name and neighborhood for the record, and you will be given 3 minutes to speak. We have one registered speaker this morning, which is Ikuhana Hamaukina.
Greetings and good day, City Council. My title is Ikahana Haumakina. I am the Grand Inca of the Iroquois Confederacy of Aborigine American People. And today I would like to discuss gun violence, the root causes of gun violence. Over the weekend, there were nationally 400 shootings in this nation. And of that 400 shootings, at least 83 of them fatal. I am happy to announce that there wasn't such a violent weekend here in this region known as Pittsburgh, but this is definitely a social problem that needs to be addressed. And I believe that City Council members can begin to heal some of the communities by flooding the communities with resources. It is a lack of resources that causes people to behave in a manner in which yields the results of this violent weekend that this nation has experienced. Some of it pandemic related, some of it economically related and economic inequities, some social political ties. But if we implement conflict resolution from a young age, teaching young children how to deal with their emotions from a conflict resolution standpoint, if we flood the communities with resources so adult children don't feel alienated by parents rushing them out of the nest when they're not adequately prepared because of a school system that has failed them. And if you don't feel that Pittsburgh Public Schools has a direct relationship to this, then boy, are you ill-informed. We must become advocates for these youth that don't have anything to do with their time. And idle time is a devil's workshop. And we must do something to avoid such an outcome. Give them the resources, give them the skill set that they're able to go into their communities and be positive contributors to their communities. This is a very unique opportunity. There are very much so resources available as I sit on City Council and hear how resources will be allocated to whom and when. I feel that City Council must step in, must step up to do something. And you can't continue to do the same thing and expect different results. So give people who are willing to step into the community and do the hard work that must be done in order to change this narrative, in order to provide positive contributors to our communities. Will you do the right thing, City Council members, or will you go back to your home where you're safe and you're sound and you feel that these things don't matter? Why?
Thank you. Having exhausted our list of speakers, we move to our standing committee agenda. Would the clerk please take the roll?
Reverend Burgess. Mr. Coghill.
Here.
Ms. Gross.
Here.
Mr. Kraus.
Here.
Mr. O'Connor.
Here.
Mrs. Cal Smith. Ms. Strasburger.
Here.
Mr. Wilson.
Here.
Mr. Lavelle, Chair.
Here.
7 members present.
Thank you. So our first committee for today is Finance and Law, chaired by myself. We have one deferred paper, Bill 1588.
Bill 1588, resolution transferring a total of $380,000 within the 2021 operating budget from the Department of Public Works to the Department of Parks and Recreation for the purpose of increasing pay for lifeguards and reopening as many pools as possible for the 2021 season.
I believe hold 1 week unless the sponsors have a different motion.
I'll second that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Just brief discussion. Oh, no, there's no discussion on the hold. That's right. Sorry.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Bill will be held 1 week. That moves us to the new papers, Bill 1652.
Bill 1652, resolution appropriating federal American Rescue Plan funding for a 4-year period from January 1st, 2021 through December 31st, 2024, as recommended by the mayor and the Pittsburgh Recovery Task Force at a total cost not to exceed the amount received from the United States Department of Treasury.
Mr. Chair, may we have 653, 654, and 655 as well?
Yes.
Bill 653, resolution amending resolution number 645, resolution making appropriations to pay the expenses of conducting the public's business of the city and for meeting the debt charges thereof for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2021, so as to reopen the 2021 budget to account for American Rescue Plan funding. Bill 1654, resolution amending resolution number 646, resolution fixing the number of officers and the employees of the city for the 2021 fiscal year and the rate of compensation thereof, and setting maximum levels for designated positions so as to reopen the 2021 budget to account for American Rescue Plan funding. Bill number 1655, resolution further amending resolution number 647, entitled Resolution Adopting and Approving the 2021 Capital Budget and the 2021 CDBG Program and the 2021 through 2026 Capital Improvement Program by increasing various line items by $57,349,840 with funding from the American Rescue Plan.
Motion to hold for all bills for scheduled public hearings.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All bills will be held for public hearings scheduled for the 10th and the 12th. Next is Bill 1661.
Bill 1661, ordinance amending ordinance number 41, amending the City Code of Ordinances at Title 7, Conduct Article 1, Regulated Rights and Actions, Chapter 626A, Temporary COVID-19 Emergency Plan, Paid Sick Leave, amending the temporary COVID-19 emergency paid sick leave ordinance to expire upon termination of the federal proclamation of 9994 of national emergency concerning the coronavirus disease 2019 COVID-19 pandemic.
Motion to approve, discussion.
Second.
All right. Mr. Chair, if you allow me. So this is the amendment to Section 2 to the original file bill that was 2020-927, and that is the paid sick leave that we passed in I believe it was in December of 2020, and due to the recent referendum that was put on the ballot, where it leaves the state legislature to vote in basically they're in control of whether or not there is a state of emergency declaration at the state instead of the governor. They can end it at any time, and they did effectively end it, which means that, you know, to continue to support people that would contract the virus and to allow them to have paid sick leave, an amendment would need to be in place to continue that. And so the amendment would be to replace the language in Chapter 626A, Section 2, so that 90% of the population, so that it doesn't end until 90% of the population is vaccinated, and that's and that will be tracked by the that 90% will be up to the state of Pennsylvania's Department of Health to determine. I do have an amendment to the bill. So I want to make a motion to amend the part of the title. This is a correction that we need to make in the title, which is, so motion to amend to remove the language to expire upon termination of the federal proclamation 9994 of national emergency concerning the coronavirus 2019 COVID-19 pandemic.
In form of a motion, I'll second.
Thank you. I can explain the correction. It's really technical. I believe this was just an error in a previous draft that we were working on. So that language wasn't in our prior bill. It shouldn't be in our future bill. It should all be hinged. The termination of the bill should be hinged upon the 90%.
Okay, so motioned and seconded. Any further discussion on the amendment? Seeing none, all those in favor of the amendment say aye.
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 Any opposed? The bill is amended. Any further discussion, Councilman Wilson, on the bill as amended?
No, I just believe that this is, in addition to my previous comments of this before the amendment, the change in section 2, I believe will fully support workers and, let families and really continue the path that we're on to improve the health of everyone in Pennsylvania as more and more people get vaccinated. This allows people to be in place if they do contract the virus. So I'm in support, and hopefully all members can be in support as well.
Thank you. Any further discussion from members? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The bill is recommended. Thank you.
Thank you.
That moves us on to our invoices. Need a motion to approve the invoices.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
Any opposed? No absent, but we do have one abstention, Councilwoman Strasburger. Invoices are approved. We now need a motion to approve the P cards.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? P cards are approved. That moves us to Public Works Committee chaired by Councilman Coghill. First new paper is Bill 1648.
Thank you,
Councilman,
Mr.
do we
Chair.
have any interdepartmental transfers?
We did not.
Okay. Bill 1648, resolution amending resolution number 721, authorizing the mayor and director of the Department of Parks and Recreation and the Department of Public Works to enter into a lease agreement with the Pittsburgh Ballet Theater for a portion of a real property located on Liberty Avenue between 29th and 30th Street, to include the proposed lease for approval by a majority vote of City Council before final execution between the mayor and directors of the Department of Parks and Recreation and the Department of Public Works and the Pittsburgh Ballet Theater as required by the original 2019 resolution.
Motion to approve, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Any discussion?
Discussion.
Discussion, Councilwoman Gross?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Mr. Coghill, I haven't been briefed on the terms of this contract, and this is the final contract, and it's been going back and forth for years. But I haven't heard from the ballet nor from the strip district neighbors, which were involved in some parts of the conversation. So could I ask you to hold this until I can circle around?
Sure. 1 week? One
Yeah,
week?
1 week, fine.
Okay, motion to hold for 1 week.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Bill will be held 1 week. That moves us to Bill 1649.
Bill 1649, resolution amending resolution number 271, authorizing the mayor and director of the Department of Public Works to enter on behalf of the city into a professional services agreement and or commodity master agreement with Direct Energy Business LLC for the supply of electricity to city buildings and facilities, as well as additional services, including those in regards to the establishment of a sub-account on behalf of the members of the Western Pennsylvania Energy Consortium Said services shall be performed in conjunction with guidance provided by city's energy consultant, Enel X North America, Inc.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Bill is recommended. That moves us to our Human Resources Committee chaired by Councilman Kraus for one bill 1650.
Bill 1650, resolution providing for the filing of applications by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania Department of Human Services for grants in connection with the Joint Jobs Initiative Program Employment Advancement and Retention Network, and providing for the authorization to enter into agreements with various agencies and to pay for expenditures for costs to support, implement, and administer the program, cost not to exceed $3,828,594.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion?
I have no discussion. I believe the director's on if members would have questions though.
Thank you. Any discussion from members? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Bill is recommended. That moves us to Land Use and Economic Development Committee chaired by Councilman Wilson. One new paper, Bill 1657.
Bill 1657, resolution authorizing the mayor and the Department of City Planning to execute relevant agreement to receive grant funding from the Pennsylvania Historical and Museum Commission's Keystone Historic Preservation Planning Grants Program to support updating the current historical context for the Manchester Historic District to properly reflect events which occurred that supported the civil rights movement, and further providing for an agreement and expenditures not to exceed $17,500. The grant requires a match from the city in the amount of $17,500 for a total project cost of $35,000.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Bill is recommended. Now to Urban Recreation Committee chaired by Councilman Burgess. We have one deferred paper, Bill 1586.
Bill 1586, ordinance amending and supplementing the city code at Title 4, Public Places and Property, Article 11, Parks and Playgrounds, Chapter 477, Permits and Fees, Section 47701, Park Permit Procedures, Section 47702, Fees for swimming pools, golf course, skating rinks, and other recreational facilities, so as to give priority to city residents for park facilities rentals.
Don't know the authors, what their intentions are, so I'll move to approve and then see what their interest is. Motion to approve with discussion.
Second.
And Council Member Strasburger, is it the wish of the president to hold a week?
Because I have not spoken to her recently about this since it was introduced, I think we should hold
We'll do a week or two.
a week until she's here next time.
All right.
Discuss.
Motion to hold 1 week.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Bill will be held 1 week. That takes us to our Intergovernmental Affairs Committee chaired by Councilwoman Gross. One supplemental paper, Bill 1673.
Bill 1673, resolution authorizing the mayor and director of the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure to enter into a contribution incorporation agreement with the PWSA for certain utility relocation and other work elements in connection with the South Side Signals Project.
Motion to approve,
Second, very brief discussion, please.
certainly.
Yeah, Councilwoman, thank you for agreeing to waive the rules on the bill so that it could appear today. This is a federally funded PennDOT project, which will recreate the intersections of Sarah, Jane, Josephine, Mission, Arlington, and Amanda as you head up the 18th Street corridor. We have been working on this for I've lost track of the number of years. Council may remember we actually approved some funding for this project probably about 4 years or so ago. There have been some delays, but this passage of this certainly helps us to take it one step closer. We do believe that it will preliminary or final, I should say, drawings will be completed by end of year with requests for proposals to go out very early 2022 with construction beginning the summer of 2022. And the biggest component of this is the redesign of the 18th and Josephine intersection, which even before I had thoughts of running for city council was a huge problem around the different community groups and public safety agencies to redesign that intersection and to put a traffic signal in there. So with this, like I said, it takes us one step closer and to a very, very, very happy constituency that 18th and Josephine will be redesigned. So thank you for your indulgence. Thank you for your consideration, and appreciate your support.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Bill is recommended. It takes us to our last bill, Bill 1368.
Bill 1368, resolution adopting plan revision to the City of Pittsburgh's official sewer facilities plan for proposed land development located at the corner of Harrion Avenue and Ruthven Street, including those parcels identified on the attached Exhibit B located in the city.
Motion to hold 6 weeks.
A second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? It will be held for 6 weeks. We do have, yeah, that's it. All right, we do have a number of meeting announcements. This afternoon at 1:30 p.m., council will hold a Cablecast post-agenda discussion with the Board of Education, the superintendent, and the president of the Pittsburgh Federation of Teachers on current and future plans and programs to increase academic achievement as it relates to Bill 2021-1135. On Saturday, July 10th at 10 a.m., council will hold a Cablecast public hearing on the American Rescue Plan as relates to Bill 1655. Speaker registration deadline is 9 a.m. Saturday morning. Next Monday, July 12th at 6 p.m., council will hold another Cablecast public hearing on the American Rescue Plan as it relates to Bill 1655. Speaker registration deadline is 3 p.m. on Monday afternoon. Also next week, council will meet for our regular and standing committee meetings on Tuesday, July 13th and Wednesday, July 14th, both at 10 a.m. Council will also hold the following Cablecast public hearings next week. Tuesday, July 13th, 1:30 p.m. on Bill 1612 relative to the historic designation of the East Liberty Mellon Bank. Wednesday, July 14th at 1:30 p.m. on Bill 1448 relative to the University of Pittsburgh Institutional Master Plan. And Wednesday, July 14th at 6 p.m. on Bill 1135 relative to a state of educational emergency. To register for these meetings and public hearings, please fill out the sign-up form on the council meeting webpage or call 412-255-2138. Also, city residents and stakeholders are invited to share their input on the city's 2022 operating budget by taking survey, either online at www.engage.pittsburghpa.gov/2022 budgets or by calling 311. The 2022 operating budget survey is open through July 11th, 2021. Are there any announcements from members?
Mr. Chair,
Madam President.
yeah, I'd just like to register an abstention for the votes I missed. Thank you.
Thank you. With Madam President present, we now need a motion to approve the minutes and adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 We are adjourned.
Thanks, everyone.